Welcome. Thank you for stopping by. I am Marina Orms, the founder of Astrology Heals at astrologyheals.com. And today I wanted to talk to you about a question that I frequently get. It is, did my sign change? Are there 13 signs? What is this all about? What is Ophiuchus? And so what I want to explain is that there are a lot of misunderstandings out there about astrology and how it works. And there are multiple truths, but if you don't understand where the different truths come into play, then it's hard to understand what's really going on. So the short answer is no, your sign has not changed. Your sign remains your sign, and the zodiac remains the zodiac. Now, it is true, it is completely true that the constellations in the sky have changed over long periods of time, over thousands of years. And so the location of the constellations that we're looking at in the sky when we're talking about particular times of year. So in our experience here on Earth, we experience the day and night cycles, and we experience the equinoxes and the solstices as very specific points. The equinoxes are the days, the 2 days of the year when day and night are equal, and the solstices are the 2 days of the year where the days and nights are longest day, shortest night, and longest night, shortest day. Of course, it depends on which hemisphere you're in, but it's one or the other. And so we have these very specific, predictable patterns that in our experience here on Earth of when those solstices and equinoxes fall, and they line up with the alignments of the Earth and the Sun. So when we're talking about the constellations, we're talking about stars that are in the distant sky. And so what's happening is that our experience of equinoxes and solstices, the days that those happen, are pointing at different constellations than they were 2,000, 4,000, 6,000 years ago. And so that does slowly change over time because we're on a moving planet that's in a moving solar system that's part of a galaxy, and things in the sky do change. It's just over long periods of time. And so what happens is that the constellations that we're looking at that particular time of year have changed. And so you have to make a choice as an astrologer. Am I going to decide what zodiac signs are based on where those constellations are, or am I going to decide based on where the solstices and equinoxes are? And in the kind of astrology that I do, not to say that it's better or more right, because both are correct, but in the kind of astrology I do, we use a tropical Western astrology system, and that is based on the equinoxes and the solstices. And the rationale for that is that when you're looking at human experiences on Earth, these are the most relevant. And so our human experiences of equinoxes and solstices is much more definable than our experience of the distant stars. So if you're using a tropical Western astrology system, the 12 signs of the zodiac, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, etc., are all still exactly the same because we define them based on when the equinoxes and solstices are. So Aries, the sign of Aries begins on the spring equinox. And in fact, all the cardinal signs, so Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn all begin on either a solstice or an equinox. And then the other signs fill out the remaining time in that quarter of the year. So I do not use a sidereal system. Sidereal is a system that is based on the distant stars, and there may be some changes in those constellations and the way that the constellations are defined. You would have to talk to a sidereal astrologer because I don't know enough about that to give you good information about that. But what I do know is that in a tropical system, the system that most people hear about in the mainstream is going to be still Still the same, exactly the same. And so your sign hasn't changed, and astrology still works, and there's no problem with it. Um, Astrology, as we know, can be a very complicated system. And in fact, it's people's attempt to try and simplify it and make it into something simple that makes it a little unrealistic, because simplified astrology, like just understanding astrology based on your sun sign, for example, it doesn't capture the whole picture, the whole story. And so, of course, it's not going to feel like it applies all the time because it's missing a lot of pieces. You actually have a sun sign, a moon sign, a Mercury sign, a Venus sign. You have a sign for every planet in the solar system, and you have many other signs as well. You have lunar nodes, you have different points that are used in different ways. So you can learn a lot more about how astrology works in this way in my book. It's called Astrology Heals, the Orms Method of Transformational Astrology. Um, and um, in the Orms method uses astrology in terms of healing. So it helps us understand what are the choices that we have to make as human beings within these astrological symbols, within the signs, within the planets. What are the opportunities that we have as human beings to step into that? So it's not predetermined for us. We have choice, we have opportunity, we have a higher level of consciousness to achieve. And as we step into our own higher possibilities, it brings into our lives more meaning, more joy, more abundance, more of the things that we want, greater healing, greater comfort, greater peace, all the things that we want to create. And so astrology, by helping us make these choices consciously, can help us step into those higher possibilities and better experiences for our lives, even in times like we're experiencing in 2020. And so we're in hard times, and astrology can help give meaning to that experience and help us understand what's happening and what it's asking of us. So stay tuned. I've got lots of videos more about what's happening in 2020. You can check it out on my Facebook page, Astrology Heals. There's a video series there. There's also lots of videos on my YouTube channel, also for Astrology Heals. And of course, I encourage you to check out my book. It's called Astrology Heals. It's by me, Marina Orms. And you can find it on my website, astrologyheals.com. You can also find it by searching on Amazon for Astrology Heals by Marina Orms, O-R-M-E-S. Thank you so much for watching today. Check back. I'll have lots more for you, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.